So this morning it has been rainy, cloudy, dreary, and this is the best that it has looked so far. So we'll try to get outside and at least get something done today. And the first thing I want to do is I need to really focus on this garden a little bit. I need to get some seeds started or I'll never have a garden. So let's head out, see if we can find some gardening supplies and see what we can get done. So I think I stored all my gardening stuff up here. See if I can find what I want. This is all stuff I had left over from last year. I'm gonna try to make some soil blocks. I've got, I think, 3 out of the 4 ingredients. Hopefully we can get them to work. And I just can't find the soil block maker. Hopefully it's back in the other garage. So I did find my soil block maker right here. And then the other thing I needed was my sifter, which I've got, I think it's like 1/4 inch mesh screen or hardware cloth in here. And that's just, because you want all the soil to be pretty fine. You don't want any big chunks in it. So I've got 1 cubic feet of peat moss. I've got 1 cubic foot of potting soil. And then I've got 1 cubic foot of black cow composted manure is what this is supposed to be. So equal parts. The other thing a lot of people put in is like vermiculite or perlite, those little white little what do we want to call them? They look like little white balls that are mixed in the potting soil. They help hold water. I don't have any of that, so we're just gonna mix these together. I'm gonna have to sift every one of these because I think it'll work better if I do, and I'll try to spare you the majority of that. So as I sift this, it definitely is easier if the material's fairly dry. If you leave it outside and it's soaking wet, you're gonna clog up the screen. So all the fine material should fall through, and then it should just be a bunch of like sticks and bark and debris left behind. All right, see, it's just bigger stuff now left in here. All right, I got everything sifted now, and I'm just gonna mix it up. That peat moss, 1 cubic feet turns into about 2. So I only added half of it. We'll see how it turns out. This might be a fail. All right, now I'm just gonna go ahead and water this down. Mix it up some more. Let's try it out. I don't know if this is gonna keep shape or not. I may need more compost. I kind of got a feeling the compost is kind of the glue that holds it all together. We're just gonna smash it up inside of this soil block maker. And then I'm gonna take this 4-inch putty knife and just make sure it's all nice and even at the bottom. And then hopefully these drop out of here and stay in shape. Hey, they did. Look at that. So hopefully I can pick one up. There we go. Soil block. There's a little hole, an indentation right in the middle where you drop your seed. And then to water them, I use these trays, and I just pour a little bit of water in the bottom of the tray, and then it soaks up into the soil block. And I'm gonna go ahead and just make a few trays of these, and I'll save you the having to watch. So I went inside and I got all the seeds that I'd ordered from Baker Seed Company. I think it's like rareseeds.com, and I've got several different varieties here. So for the last probably 7 years, I've been using a Clyde's garden planner to figure out when I can start my first seeds based off the frost date in my area. This is like a little slide ruler, and it adjusts for wherever your frost date is. And I would always plant my like onions and broccoli, my cool weather crops, you know, I'd plant them as soon as I could. And then I'd get too busy and I wouldn't get them planted till several weeks late. So I knew better this year to wait and start my seeds closer to the gardening season. So for me, in my area, I could have started leaf lettuce inside from seed on March 8th. And this is only like March 25th. So I'm really only a couple weeks behind when the earliest I could have started was. So I like to grow two different types of lettuce. So the first type is romaine lettuce, and I got some Paris Island, which is kind of the standard. And then I also have some crisp mint. And then the other type of lettuce I like to grow is butter crunch, which is a bib style lettuce. And when we harvest these, we just cut it off. We harvest the whole plant, take it inside, clean it up, and use it for salads. It's not one of those lettuces that we cut and let grow back. We just harvest the whole thing. I'm gonna try to just drop one seed in each one of these, but it's more like 2 or 3. I'll plant some cabbage, planting cilantro, and we got some kale. So looking at my Clyde's garden planner, it says I can start peppers and tomatoes. I can start seeds inside the week of March 22nd, which is this week, or more or less this week. It's a few days ago. And I do grow several different types of peppers. I like to grow colored bell peppers. So I've got a red bell pepper, I've got an orange bell pepper, and a yellow bell pepper. And then we have some Anaheim chili peppers, some banana peppers, and then some Craig's Grande jalapeno peppers. The regular jalapenos always end up turning out too small. These are almost too big, but these are the peppers we grow. So I've got 6 different types of peppers here, and that means I can plant 1 in each one of these rows, 5 plants each. All right, I think I've got everything planted that I can, at least right now. So in these pots right here, this is onion seeds. There's probably like 25 to 50 seeds in each one of these little pots. A couple different varieties. I've got a whole tray here, over 50 soil blocks of just broccoli. We got a couple different types of tomatoes. We've got celery, parsley, basil, tons of different stuff planted here. And I think the only thing I need to do now is just get these moved down to the basement on our grow shelf, and then we can move on to something else. And if you guys are interested in one of these Clyde's garden planters, I'll put a link down below. I believe if you use coupon code CountryView10, I think you get 10% off. So this here is my seed starting shelf. I can fit a total of 8 trays on here. And I did go through and I used some scotch, some painter's tape, and I labeled what these are, parsley, basil, I've got them all labeled so I know which plants are where. And hopefully in about a week, we'll start to see some of these sprout. So while I was unloading the seeds, all the ducks came up around the side by side because they want some food. And I'm out of duck feed right now. I've got an order in. I'm gonna go pick up feed tomorrow, but since they're completely out, I think I'll run back. I'll grab some of the steer feed. It has a lot of cracked corn in it and they should eat it just fine. All right, this will be enough to hold you till tomorrow. All right, you definitely seem hungry. So now that it's warming up, we've noticed the ducks have started laying eggs again. We've seen tons of them in the water. Like they must just be swimming by and drop an egg. But we're seeing some on shore now. The problem is the crows, if they find them, the crows will eat the eggs. So like right here, there's what's left of an egg, but here's an egg like a crow ate. You can see just poked a hole on the inside and and ate it, you know, the egg. So we find a ton of shells like that. So right here, here's another one eaten by a crow. So Sydney, one of our dogs, she'll go around and find the duck eggs and eat them as well, but they won't look like that. She'll just break them completely open and lick the egg out of the inside. So those are definitely from the crows. Like right here, here's another one. Just a hole in the end. Same there. And that's how the ducks lay eggs. I mean, they just drop them random places, and then once a duck actually gets kind of broody, she will create a nest and they will put eggs in one spot. But if they're not broody, it seems like they lay their eggs just about anywhere. So it started raining, so I've moved inside of the workshop. And yesterday, before I started filming, to weld together the stand for the roll bender, that side of the shop was completely filled with a bunch of hardwood lumber that I had moved in here. And I moved it out of that side of the shop, I moved it in here. So I've got all of it piled up on these sawhorses. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I ended up ordering another wood rack. You can see I've got wood stacked here on the wall, and we're gonna go ahead and take that all the way up about to the ceiling. And then I can hopefully fit the rest of this lumber up there. And I know I have to get to it from a ladder. It's not real convenient, but I do want it in this room because of the mini split up here. It keeps the humidity down in here, and that's gonna help guarantee this lumber is like the right moisture level when I go to turn it into something. So I do want it to have it stored in here. And right there is the only spot I felt like would work. It's already clear in front of it where I can get a ladder in that location to get stuff off the shelf. So it's just gonna do for now. And behind all of this hardwood lumber is 4 cabinets. So I did get the next 2 cabinets made for the base cabinets on Rebecca's bookshelf library project. But I'm not gonna work on the library project until all of this lumber is up and out of the way. But what I thought we'd do right now is the planer over here. I've got the new knives to put in it. I thought we'd try to replace those. Replacing these knives will probably not be very easy to see. I'm not sure the best way to do it. I guess I'll just lay it down. It might be the easiest way to see what I'm doing. I've got a bolt that the head is rounded. Can't get it to come off. I think I got it. Little channel locks for the win. I got another one rounded out. It's not gonna come off. All right. Vice grips for the win on that one. The knife fell off up on the inside. I have to raise it back up, I guess. See if it drops out. There it came out. Okay, opening up my new planer knives. Comes in this little case. There they are. They got the brown oil-filled paper over them. That's to keep them from rusting. And there we go. 2 brand new planer knives. So the old planer knives right here are attached to, I'm gonna call it a carrier. It's this black piece, and it's bolted together with a couple screws, and it is spaced out a correct distance. So when you bolt the whole thing in there, both knives are exactly parallel, they're the right depth. And to attach the carrier to the blade, you gotta have this little plastic jig right here to mate everything up. So I just went and I found it. It took me about 10 minutes to find it, but I do have it. So now we can go ahead and change these blades out. All right, so there's the old blade. There is the new blade. I'm gonna set the blade all the way out and just barely snug these up. I mean, not even really snug, just so they're slightly gripping, I guess. And then we'll take our jig. This lip fits on the front edge of the blade. except I'm so far forward it won't even fit. Start pulling it back. Okay. And now I'll just pull it back till it hits the carrier. All right, now that blade should be exactly where we want it. So the blade is right up against the edge there, and we turn it over, and the carrier is against this edge. So when you put the blade in, the carrier has a slot that it fits in to make sure it's in the right spot. Luckily, I had a new bolt, a couple new bolts. All right, I think I got her. So I got the planer all put back together, so I'll probably just like grab one of these boards right here, we'll run it through and test it out. All right, turn it on. One full crank. About as deep as I go. All right, there's one side. That looks good. There's the other side. Feels nice and smooth. So like I said in a previous video, I know I've had this for about 26 years and it was used when I got it. So it's probably a 30-year-old planer, still working, but really I was time for an upgrade. And that's why I got the DeWalt planer over there. So now this is all running. I'm probably gonna put this up for sale. And then I got this old Craftsman contractor saw. I did replace the switch with like a regular light switch right there. And I just went through this the other day. Actually, I got the fence all straightened up and I got it where it was fairly cutting pretty good. But that was originally my dad's. I'll probably check with him first, make sure he doesn't know anybody that should go to. If he doesn't have anything specific for me to do with it, I'll probably put that up for sale as well. And then I've got this old Lincoln Procore 100. This is a flux core welder. This is my first welder. I'll probably end up getting rid of this as well. And of course the old metal chop saw. I'll probably put this up for sale as well. I'm sure I can find other things I need to get rid of if I just look around, but I think I need to do a little bit of a clean out and just kind of get rid of the stuff I'm not going to use anymore. I don't know about you, but I personally despise trying to sell stuff. I think I have to accumulate several things and then just try to sell them all at the same time. That way I'm just dealing with it, hopefully for only like a few weeks, and then it's over with. But yeah, I definitely put trying to sell things off. You know, like I put that off. And like out here in the country, you can't really do a garage sale. I don't really think so. It's not like you have any traffic. I mean, we have a total of like 6 cars drive by every day, you know, so during the middle of the day. It's not very much. So it's not like you can do like a garage sale. Now my parents do have garage sales every so often, and a lot of times I'll take stuff over there and drop it off, and they'll be nice enough to sell it for me. And that is convenient. It's way more convenient than trying to sell it on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully in the next few days, as the wood rack shows up and I can get all this stuff picked up and maybe get a few things organized around here. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.